Welcome to the Throne of Wealth, the podcast that empowers you to reign over your financial future. Each episode brings you tax strategies, wealth building insights, and stories from inspiring entrepreneurs. The Throne of Wealth is brought to you by King of Kings accounting firm, where financial challenges become opportunities for growth. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to the Throne of Wealth podcast. Today we have a guest speaker, Peter Tadeo. Peter is here with us today to talk to us a little bit about his career, life experience, and journey as an entrepreneur. Peter, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you very much, Karen. How are you?
Good. How was this morning today? I heard traffic was terrible.
Yes. Well, that is Atlanta for you. So it wouldn't be Atlanta if it wasn't terrible. But more so than usual today. So yeah, had some trouble getting into the office this morning.
It was bad. It was bad for both of us. So we were stuck in traffic for a bit. Off podcast, we were talking about our families and how our mornings go before we go into the office. We like to share a little bit. There's a lot of people that has this misconception that entrepreneurial life and creating something better for their future, it's something that is kind of like on the snap of a finger, or something that is as easy as as just dreaming about it. But you and I know that's not true. So you were saying about like you're not getting enough sleep right now.
Well, I'm not getting enough sleep because I have three young children, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-month-old. So, you can imagine how much sleep my wife and I get, which is not much sometimes at this right now. We're hoping that changes soon once new baby, gets into a better routine. Right now, it's just like, yeah.
Right now, it's just kind of like getting the morning started, right?
Yeah.
So Peter, tell us a little bit about your career and why law.
Why law? You know what? I've always loved when I was in high school and before that, I loved movies that involve lawyers. I'd always loved the movies that involve lawyers. Time to Kill, Pelican Brief, all these movies I always liked, and I was like, wow, that's so amazing that an attorney can help people, right, with words and arguing and finding, it's almost like solving a puzzle sometimes. And so I knew when I went to college, I wanted to go to law school. Ended up going to law school at Mercer Law. And I just like helping people. The ability to help somebody with words and actions and solve other people's problems is something that I always enjoyed.
So Peter, tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you have encountered as an entrepreneur, business owner, and as an attorney, right?
Well, yeah. I went to law school, right? They didn't teach us how to run a business. And running a business is a lot different than being a lawyer. So getting good advice, learning how to ask the right questions,
Mm.
and yeah, meeting people like you guys, right, that help us so much in handling, you know, our financial situations and giving us advice on running a business. That's been that's sometimes the challenge that lawyers have. But it's the rewarding part, of course, is that being a lawyer and helping attempt to help other people's problems, right? We have our own problems. People pay us to help them fix their problems, right? So, yeah, that's what I've always I've enjoyed it. Okay, I didn't see myself doing anything else.
Other than practicing law and helping the community. And we have seen, numerous number of clients that have come to your office and said that, your team, you guys are so honest with them and always direct them in the right direction, which is, it's something that it speaks very loud and very nice of your firm. But Peter, tell us a little bit about why immigration? you know, a lot of attorneys in different type of fields, but Tadeo and Silva, it's immigration mainly focus firm.
Yes. So that's interesting. I went to law school thinking I was going to go and be a real estate attorney because I worked in real estate since I was 16 years old, and right up until law school, working for real estate. So I saw real estate lawyers, and I thought that's what I was going to do. After my first year, I needed to find an internship that summer, and I had a friend that worked in an immigration law firm for a few years, And I said, "Hey, are you guys looking for an intern? I just needed to find something." I didn't know. I was trying to find out. I almost actually ended up working in a prosecutor's office in Cobb County. Um, yeah, so that was one option, but I was like, let me see if I can, find another internship. And so she's like, "Yeah, we're interning, but come, just come. You'll meet, you'll meet the main attorney." So I interned there that summer, my first summer at a law school, after my first year of law school, and I really liked it. And now I got to use my Spanish skills because I get to use Spanish more, right? Because I wasn't speaking it that much down in Macon, Georgia, in law school in Mercer. You don't speak a lot of Spanish, and I really liked it. And that attorney said, "Oh, you have a really good knack for it. If you in 2 years when you graduate, if you want a job, as an attorney, come work for us." And that's what exactly. 2 years later, I ended up working for a law firm here, a boutique law firm here in Alpharetta, Georgia, and that's what happened. It led me to that.
So, did you enjoy your time when you were in law school in Macon, Peter?
I did because it's almost like a little island. The law
Mhm.
school is like a little
In the
island
middle.
in the middle of Macon. You connect and then the camaraderie you have with other people, because a lot of the students don't are not from Middle Georgia. Some of them are from Middle Georgia, some of them but a lot of them from all over the place in the Atlanta area, right? And so you get to become real good friends. You know, I wouldn't say that I just knew I wasn't going to practice law in Macon. I knew that wasn't. I knew I was going to come back to Atlanta, to the
No,
Atlanta area to practice law. But
I,
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was good. A good time. Law school was great.
well, I think when I first enrolled for my first semester, I only did 1 year, Peter. I don't know if you knew. And I was like, no, I told Juan, it just so isolated. It feels like in the middle of nowhere. But I'm glad that so many attorneys actually finished and graduated, and here we have you today, helping
Yeah.
that community and assisting that community. Peter, what would be one advice that you would give, people in the community that are now seeking legal advice when it comes to the immigration practice, when it comes to their status or fixing their status? What would be that one thing, or are those key points that you will say, hey, pay attention to this, or make sure you have this?
Yeah, the first thing, and it's very simple. The first advice I give people, and I compliment people that come here when they come see me in a consultation, is that they actually made an appointment. Like they actually did something about their immigration status.
Uh-huh.
Many people, you know, they don't know that they have a way to get maybe a work authorization card or a green card, which is what most people want that are undocumented, right? So that's just making that appointment and going to talking to an attorney. You may find out, oh wow, I could have gotten a green card 10 years ago or longer, right? And so every time, and then sometimes there's nothing we can do, right? And we're going to be very honest with people and telling, look, there's nothing that can be done at all.
Mhm.
But I still tell them, you did a good job of at least coming, seeing an attorney, because, who knows, maybe there's something in the future that you're eligible for. And that's sometimes the case. Right now, you may not be eligible for something, but in the future, you could be. So it's good that you start preparing yourself now. So that's the first thing. It's the most important thing is actually making a consultation with a good attorney
Mhm.
that's going to be honest with you.
Peter, what would be that one thing that you will say that has contributed to your success, that like a habit maybe, or something that you have developed, or a discipline throughout your career in your life?
So the one I just mentioned that's really important is being honest with people and making, we call them PCs, potential clients, making PCs feel comfortable, like we're not talking down to them. A lot of people that come see us are not the most educated, right? They're
Mhm.
working class people, and they don't
Mhm.
want to be, and they're intimidated sometimes by, oh, an attorney, right? El abogado,
Mhm.
and so talking people, explaining things in a easy manner, making them feel comfortable, being honest with them. Those are always things that we've seen people always compliment us. It's like, oh, you made it so simple. You talked to me like a normal person. You didn't make me feel like beneath, like I'm beneath you. It's just it's super important. It's customer service in a way, right? We're trying to help these people in something, and they're paying us, so we need to be, treat them right with respect, just like we expect them to treat us with respect.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's just showing others that humanity part, I guess, of us, right? Because sometimes we're in a day to day, and one thing I hear a lot, especially from the immigration, kind of like industry or clients that are are seeking for their status, is like they're treated more like a number or
Mhm.
like a file. And we know that USCIS, I mean, and immigration has many files to process. So it's good that when they come to a practice like yours, they're they're treated as a person, right? As a family, as a somebody that is gonna have a smile when they get their status or stuff like that. That which, so I just showing that humanity part, right? That love for what you do and that passion. But we have two partners in this business, so I know that we don't have Maciel here with you today. But what was she said about her career, her passion for immigration? And why she chose to practice with her husband in the same type of law, which is
Well,
amazing, by the way, and it's great. But
Well, it's not that we planned it that way. We met in undergrad at Georgia State years ago. Didn't date, we just were, acquaintances. And then we went on our separate paths, right? After I graduated from Georgia State, she graduated from Georgia State. She ended up going to law school. I ended up going to law school. We didn't, we kept in touch sort of through Facebook. I would see, pictures of her, and she would picture me. And then we're both practicing, ironically, immigration law, and we see each other again for the first time in like 6 7 years at
oh wow,
USCIS, at immigration office. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? And she's like, oh my god, how are you doing? And we just caught up, and we ended up exchanging numbers, and the rest is history. 3 kids later. And so we were practicing the same law, working for two. I'm working for a competing firm, and it just kind of makes sense, right? We get married, and we're like, well, we need to start our own thing.
yeah.
It's always better to work for yourself, right? And so we both do the same thing. So let's get going and start our business, and that's what we've done, and that's what we did back in, wow, what was this? January of 2018. So
Wow, wow, oh, that's amazing. So, what would you say has been one of the biggest lessons that you have learned in your entrepreneurial life?
the biggest lessons, um, I would say it's 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 being good. Actually, this is really important. Your staff is really, really important, right? They're an extension of who you are. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's choosing and interviewing and hiring right people, but also being somebody that they having wanting them to come in and work right every day, and having like a good attitude, you with them, and then with you. Of course, sometimes you have to be the boss, right?
Yeah.
And my CEO is actually better at that than I am. She's the heavy. I'm a little bit sometimes a little too lenient, but but it's definitely that I want to work with people that want to work with me and that want to come to work. And so right, and so that's I think that's important. That's something.
So one of the key success is be selected with the team, creating that
Hmm.
culture
Hmm.
environment where people
Exactly.
love to come every morning, show up to work. We want them to show up to work
Yeah,
with
exactly.
enthusiastic, right? of the workplace, of the job
Mhm.
that they're doing at the work. That's amazing.
And also that we're training them, and they also know how we treat clients, right? Because
Mhm,
I want my staff to treat clients the way I do, right?
mhm,
Respectful way, that they feel like they're being helped and not ignored. And then, but at the same time, if a client gets out of hand, my employees know that I have their back. And that
mhm.
sometimes happens, right? I have to tell a
Yeah.
client, hey, don't talk to my employee this way. They're trying to help you. And so it's that. It's the culture, I guess, and the environment that you create in your office.
Wow, that's awesome, Peter. So glad to hear that. And what do we expect in your firm happening in 2025? Are there any new
We are.
plans?
Yes, we are. We've always taken some personal injury cases, right? Car accident cases. And so we're starting to get more into that. It's another way to help the community, right?
Mhm.
We've helped other, like I said, we've helped our own clients with their with with different cuts accident cases, and we're just going to go in a little bit more into it, a little bit harder into that field. I see there's a need, and I think we can provide that service and need for the not only the Latino community but community, just Atlanta in general.
That's marvelous because that's educating the clients and caring for the clients. They already have a relationship with you, right? So that's more like an extension. So that's a really nice success. Peter, and what will be one financial advice that you will say that has been one of the best that you have received? Kind of like in the past few years.
Hiring you guys. You guys have helped us so much. That's a financial, right? Having, helping, getting advice and getting, you know, just help in managing where your money goes and how you spend it, and coming up with future goals, right? We didn't have that throughout our, since the inception of our firm, and now we do, and it's helped us, I mean, tremendously. And we feel a lot, we feel like we don't necessarily, we can do the lawyering, and then somebody else can do that part, right? The financial management of the firm, so that we can continue helping, we can focus on helping the community instead of completely focusing on, on finances.
Great. Well, thank you, Peter, so much for what you have said. And now that we're kind of like getting towards the end, would there be one advice or um one piece of advice or key point that you will give to the audience? Take away. Something, if someone were an entrepreneur, and if somebody is seeking that legal status right now, maybe will be I guess two piece of advice, one for the entrepreneurial, and one for people that are seeking that status.
So for entrepreneurial kind of advice, it's do it. It was scary. It's really, it's not, I mean,
Mhm.
it wasn't like, Marciel and I started in a small little, 160 square foot office from another attorney. And we just
Mhm.
said, let's go. We had a cell phone as our first like line where we
Yeah, I
picked up
know.
calls, and we're
I think
like,
all of us start like that.
and so it's scary, but like after the first month, we're like, wait a minute, it's working, and we're making more money now than we were making when we were employees, right? And so it's just pulling the trigger and going out. It's taking, and then take, like everybody says, taking a risk, right? You just have
Mhm.
to do it, go and do it.
Just do it.
And then
Just
for
take action.
immigration status, yeah, and for immigration status, it's not only seeing an attorney is the first step, but also getting a second opinion, right? I tell people, if like, look, I've analyzed this as much as I can. I don't know if there's a way you can change the status, but I would go talk to at least one other attorney. I can give you the name. I even give a name of reputable ones that I would go to, if me, because most times I know them very well, or they're friends of
Okay.
mine, and I'm like, yeah, go talk to this person, because he's going to give you. He may find something that I can't, and put a and maybe give have a new fresh set of eyes to look at your case, and sometimes that's needed. So that's the advice I would give to people looking to change, or change their status, immigration status.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Peter, for your time. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, could you please share your contact information with us?
Yeah, so our office right now, we're in Peachtree Corners. We serve all over the United States. Our number is 404-993-8941. Tadeo and Silva Law. Yeah, we're here Monday through Friday. Give us a call.
Okay, if you're seeking for a legal status, or if you want a reputable attorney, or if you're in a personal injury matter, then Peter Tadeo, they're local and they take cases all over Georgia. So it doesn't matter what city you're in, as long as you're in the state of Georgia, Peter is here for you. So thank you, Peter, so much. Your story is quite amazing. it was meant to be for you and Maciel. I didn't know that story, by the way. And now I know that after 7 years of not hearing from each other or
Mhm.
actually seeing each other, you come in across USCIS. So USCIS is now the cause of three beautiful girls.
That's basically it. I always joke that I should have proposed to her at an interview.
Yes.
Yes,
That would have been
I
like,
found a much better place in California to propose. Don't worry. But yes, that is the cause of us reconnecting. Thank you, immigration.
and now, like you said, just take an action, right? Just make a decision and go, man. Take the risk. That's what life is all about, making a decision.
Yep.
So
There you go.
I'm glad that we're here today. So thank you so much, Peter.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
we can connect next time for another one, and then we'll have a lot more information after the elections, maybe. So to see how things are looking at and how we are to expect in the new laws when it comes to immigration, and maybe you can educate us and educate our audience a little bit more in that. And that's it. In that note, um,
Will
so
do.
I'm compromising you, Peter.
Yeah. No, we'll talk soon. Definitely.
with
The next
with
30 days. Next 30 days are
with
going to be interesting.
Yes, yes. So we'll wait to hear from that. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to The Throne of Wealth. Be sure to subscribe, share, and leave a review to help others find the show. A special thanks to our sponsor, King of Kings Accounting Firm, dedicated to helping you build and protect wealth for generations. Until next time, take the reins of your financial future and lead with confidence.